Okay, so this week we're talking about methods and sources of Christology. And I noticed there's some creeds up there to look at and then some chapters to read. What what's the importance to you, Edward, in this early in the course looking at methods and sources?
Um, okay, so I am convinced that um, the meaning and content of any Christology um, derives from how Christology is created within a community, within a structure of shared understanding. It's Christology for me. The meaning of Christology, any Christology, is not a matter of some personal philosophy. It always has some connection to what has already been said by someone, what's already been done, how it's been articulated. In other words, Christologies always belong to some tradition.
Right.
So, in thinking about sources and methods, um, I'm trying to point towards the fact that something has already been said by some community somewhere. And I'd like the students to identify some tradition in history out of which their thinking about Christology has come from. Even if you think that your Christology is intensely personal, there's somewhere in history. Think of Pascal or Kierkegaard or philosophers and individuals like that who've tried to think about the balance between Christology as both personal and coming out of a particular tradition. Sources, well, with Christology does not drop from the skies ready-made. Christology is something that theologians have read off the Bible, or some aspect of the Bible, something they have read from or developed from the creeds of the church, something that's been articulated within the context of some tradition, right? Somewhere, whether it's Lutheran or Catholic or Methodist, there are all kinds of documents, classical documents, that constitute these sources. But over and above that, there's also experience, right? Our students have experiences of, at least some of them, will claim that they have experiences, more or less direct of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
That's a source.
Oh, okay.
This is what I've experienced. This is what I know. This is what I feel. How do you match that up against the creeds or some of the classical stuff that I just referred to?
So that's in a sense then, as we study Christology, it's not a problem to include experience, personal experience, traditional experience, church experience, those sorts of things, as a part of the sources that are used in constructing Christologies, along with the creeds and things like this.
It's not a problem at all because that's the way it's always been, right? It's always been experience, reason, tradition, history, context. As long as we are mindful that we're not sort of positing some pure source.
Right.
Now, people will say, but there's the revelation of God, and this is the pure source. But we should not forget that the revelation of God is always mediated through language, through God's encounter with human beings, and so it's to me it's sources, methods, and tradition. Methods are about how we organize what we say about Jesus. In other words, I'm not just coming up. I wake up in the morning and I say some stuff about Jesus any way I want, and hope that this is Christology. We've got to be attentive to the manner in which we say what we want to say about Jesus Christ. And what we say and how we say it has got to be, as long as we're talking about method, it's got to be consistent with how some people have said stuff about Jesus.
Right.
So some people have said it in Methodist ways, some have said it in Catholic ways, some have said it in Anglican ways, and within those there'll be variations of how statements are made about, claims or sessions are made about Jesus Christ.
Perfect.